Hello everyone, this is James Shore with another test-driven development video. Today is May 1st, 2012, and I'm picking up where I left off in the last episode, where we were just trying to get the SaveAsDialog should handle save exceptions gracefully method extracted out of an application frame test and moved into SaveAsDialog test. And in order to do that, we were sort of extricating it from all of the dependencies on on application frame test variables and so forth. And we were getting pretty close. The only thing that we had left, I think, was to pass in the appropriate frame here. And then figure out what the right number of child windows was. So this might actually work. No. Let's see. Be a bit of trial and error here. No. I'll be surprised if this works. Oh, you know what? I think we're passing in the wrong frame. Yeah, there. Let's call this dummy frame 2 just to... And I'm pretty sure this should be two child windows. One for SaveAsDialog and one for the exception. Okay, fingers crossed on this one. All right. Okay. So now that I've got this completely extricated from application frame test, I think I can just take this and copy it into here. And then I'll also have to take this, which is used by both classes, and copy it in as well. Okay, so let's see if that works. It does seem to work. Let's go ahead and get rid of the old test. Okay, and let's prove that it's working by getting rid of the show message. Great, great. Okay. This seems to be good. And let's make another little change, double check that all the assertions are working properly. All right. Excellent. Okay, so now we have completely moved out SaveAsDialog test. That was a lot more work than I expected. Well, in a way, extract class can always be a bit challenging for some reason. Typically because of your references not matching up or having to fiddle with your class references. So now that that's working, I really need to fix SaveAsDialog should handle save exceptions gracefully. It's pretty messy right now. I think what I want to do is, rather than having this be a null, I'll make that our dummy frame. And that shouldn't break anything. And now I can get rid of that. Oh, no, I can't. Why not? Oh, because now we're creating a new save as dialog, and that is causing this to have the wrong number of child windows. Well, let's leave that as is for now. I want to clean this up. I want this, what I was doing before with cause save exception, that was clever, but I didn't like the way it had some side effects in terms of assigning the frame to a public variable and then later on asserting on that assumption. So let's do that a little differently. Let's have this be, let's extract this piece out as, it's not going to let me. Let's extract this piece out as a method called, not sure yet. Create exception throwing save as dialog. Yep, that's as good a name as any. Still not working. Ah, frustrating. Okay, so what's going on here? Oh, well, this is going to have to be up here. I have to pass it in here. So that we end up using the same ones. Yeah. Okay. All right, so now that I've got that happening, now we would need to cause the save, which I think needs to be factored out, actually. I'm doing it here and here. So we'll come back to that. And then we stop waiting when this happens. Let's rename this to frame. And let's rename this to exception dialog. No, throwing dialog. And now let's factor out this stuff. This is going to be directory. And this is going to be file name. And this will be, how about just do save? Perfect. Now we can inline that and inline that. And that should still work. Good. And here we can say do save dialog null null. Oh, our do save ended up in our class. That doesn't need to be final. That should still pass. Okay. There we go. That's looking good. And I don't think we need this dummy frame after all, because typically we're not looking at the frame. That way we don't have an aliasing problem with this method name. Now the problem with doing that is is it getting attached to the global window? Possibly. That should do the trick. There. Okay. So now we're not disposing this one, but I think that's okay. Honestly, we probably don't have to dispose this one either. But I think if we're not careful, we could end up with some weird side effects from not cleaning up after ourselves. So we create the dummy frame, we create the exception throwing SaveAsDialog. Let's just call it frame instead of dummy frame. Okay, I think we're finally getting somewhere here. We've still got this invocation issue, but this is nice and clean. That's nice and clean. It should handle save as exception. So we invoke and wait for the warning dialog. We invoke by doing the save with the exception throwing dialog. And we stop waiting when the warning dialog is found. When it's not null and it's visible. Yep, that all looks right. Yeah. And I think that's good. Okay, so the next thing, let's double check here, make sure this all looks good. Well, first let's look at the production code. Production code, nice and clean. Here, well, extremely clean. Still got that non-private, but I think that's just the way it's got to be. There's probably a way to press that save button programmatically, but I am okay with this the way it is. Yep, I think that's good. Now let's look at this application frame test. Yep, that is pretty good. And in fact, I think we can inline this. Yeah. So next thing to do is factor out that invocation duplication. That's what we'll pick up with next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.